Let me tell you a story. Once there was a frog. He was hopping across a meadow, and he came onto an old country road. So he hopped onto the road to get to the other side of the meadow, and he heard a sound. Ribbit. He stopped, looked around, there wasn't anything else. So he hopped again. He heard the sound. So he said to himself, I didn't make that sound. Where is it coming from? So he stopped and listened. And when he heard the sound again, it seemed to be coming from the middle of the road. So he hopped over to where the sound was coming from, and he discovered there was a frog in a rut in the road. So he looked into the rut and he said, what are you doing in this rut? And the other frog said, well, I was minding my own business and I fell into this rut. But I couldn't get out. So he said, but you can't stay there. He said, it's okay. When my friends pass, they drop a fly or two for me. And basically, I don't have a lot of needs. I'm quite content here. It's safer than out in the meadow. So he said, well, I can't leave you in the rut. Look, I want to put my hand in. Jump and grab my hand and I'll pull you out of the rut. And the frog said, I can't reach. So he said, okay, frog's legs are longer than frog's hands. I'll turn around, but I can't see behind my back. When you grab my legs, tell me. So he put his leg down, and the other frog. So he said, look, I can't leave you here. I'm going over to the meadow, and I'm going to plait a rope. And I'll bring it and pull you out of this rut. So he hopped onto the meadow, and he hopped until he reached a clearing. So he sat down plaiting this rope. And after a little while, he heard a sound. Ribbit. So he looked around, and there, coming from the bushes into the clearing, was another frog. And as the frog got closer to him, he stopped him. He said, I recognize you. Aren't you the frog that was in the rut? And the other frog said, yes. He said, but I thought you couldn't get out. What happened? He said, well, soon after you left, I heard a truck coming. Sometimes life has to bring us a truck before we would decide to get out of our rut. Sometimes we have to drive the truck to help somebody else get out of a rut. I'm Dr. De Gois.